I am fangirling out big time right now. I can't even talk. This is The Message, Carbon Sound Music for Life. You are in music class. I'm just really just so happy to be who I am today in this seat. In the studio with me. Just the history of St. Paul, y'all know how I get excited about the Minnesota music scene. I'm from Chicago. Just being able to come from my own style of music and to come here and to see this whole culture and how bad y'all is. And then to hear about this one location called Urban Lights. Through it all, this one location, famous people come to visit. Local artists, they start there, just this one little piece of Minnesota history. And we have the owner of said Urban Lights.
I'm in the building.
Timothy Wilson. You can't hear him, but they saying yeah.
I'm in the building. Yeah, I hope there's some claps somewhere around, but it's all good.
Hey, the people who understand the vastness of the resourcefulness of the culture that the Minnesota music scene provides the people who live here, as well as clearly everybody, based on the receipts you about to give us today, everybody outside the area.
A couple people. people.
Wow, do you know who you are?
No. Do you know who you are? I told you, I'm a fan. Like, I love what you do up here. The energy is incredible. So I finally made it.
You made it, okay.
Yeah, I've been wondering for like the last year, like, what's up? They don't want me up there?
No, God, no. Oh, my goodness, no. First of all, shout out to John, man. John, if y'all loving the interviews, John is the one, man. That's just number one. I have to balance my fangirl and my professionalism today. Timothy Wilson is the owner of Urban Lights in St. Paul. If you are not from here and you're talking to people and you're getting to know about the Twin Cities and you hear about Urban Lights, this is the spot to be to get so much culture, especially the Minnesota music scene. So oh my goodness, I can't stop fangirling. Thank you so much for having time.
No, of course.
You are a piece of Minnesota music history, and you're so humble, and that wows me that y'all are doing the things that you're doing. You're having your hands in these bowls that are and you guys are cooking, and you're just so humble and wow. So
regular.
And you look fly. I gotta say that the Minnesota hat is
you
popping.
Look fly.
Okay, you look
Prada
fly.
glasses is working.
Thank you. I'm trying to be like the Minnesota music
there
thing.
You go. That's what's up.
Okay, so quickly for those who don't know, because I was in foster care here. Okay. I heard about Urban Lights.
Awesome.
When I was in college here, Urban Lights. Like you are a part of.
So what you saying? I'm old.
No, that ain't what I said, because that means I'm old too now. Hold on. I guess we both old then.
It's all good.
No, we classic.
Okay, classic.
Yeah. But for those who don't know what Urban Lights is, who you are, please let us know. And don't do the humble stuff. Just give us the details. Let us know what's really going on.
So Urban Lights is a music retail store that me and a few of my friends created back in the 90s, like 93. And it was based on, we used to actually sit in high school and say, man, we should own a record store. That would be cool, wouldn't it? That would be cool. And so I hung out at a lot of record stores growing up. I'd been DJing since I was like 15. So I didn't want to spend money on records, so I found out a way to have communication with both Musicland and a store downtown Minneapolis called Music City, and I would trade information for music. So they would be like, Tim, go in the back, take whatever you want.
Wow.
And I'd be like, yeah, you should order heavy on Public Enemy and this group Run DMC, you better check them out. They're going to be big. And so they would base their orders, and then I go across the street to Musicland, and he'd say, Tim, man, look at this order sheet. What do you think?
Wow.
Oh, you should order heavy on this, and that. Cool, go in the back room and take all the vinyl you want. So that's how I built my vinyl collection to actually go out and DJ. And then just hanging out in record stores. There was another record store called No Name Records. I believe they were on like 60th in Chicago. I used to hang out there like every day after school. Used to sit and read all the trade magazines and all that kind of stuff. So, and then on top of all of that, my locker, and I hate to say this, I didn't have a lot of books in my locker.
Okay.
But I had a lot of cassettes for sale in my locker.
Okay, why is that? That's the same.
So my locker was kind of a store
already
before I was a store. So, and then we used to joke about it, like, man, it'd be cool if we ever got a record store, man. We could do this and that. And then in 93, I was hanging out at Northern Lights in St. Paul a lot.
Yeah.
And we were joking one day. He said, Tim, you should buy this from me. I want to be done. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll call my
I do
banker and
remember
have you.
something about it being Northern Light.
So Northern Lights had 10 to 15 stores at that time.
Yeah, I do remember that name.
And they were a little nervous of where the neighborhood was going. So they wanted to
over there on Midway?
Yeah, so they wanted to let that one go. And so I think we went through about 3-4 months worth of negotiations back and forth. And then all the guys that I joked with about having a record store, I went to each one of them. I said, guess what? We can have a record store
my God.
if you have this amount of money. And we all put it up. And September 3rd, 1993, we opened the door.
Oh my God, that is so hip hop.
Yeah.
That is so hip hop.
Yeah, it's Beat
I have
Street.
chills. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love y'all stories. I love that so much.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Y'all just okay, because for all the baby hustlers that's listening, you gonna have to tell us about that little CD in the locker thing and how you was the little mini store before that started. What's that about?
So I started. I tried to play sports. But
Okay.
it hurts to get tackled and
Yeah.
stuff. I found that out. And
Right.
I wasn't a fan. So I said, well, how can I still be in the mix but not be in that mix? So I basically traded in my football uniform for 2 turntables and a mixer.
Oh.
And I started making mixes. And I made pop mixes, rock mixes, slow mixes, hip hop mixes. And then my locker, people would just come to me like, hey man, I got a party this weekend.
Oh my
man. You got a
goodness.
slow jam tape? Yep. $10.99.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you just hear music for life? He's you've this is a whole like branding marketing strategy you're doing as a young person.
Yeah.
I love when you guys come in and tell stories. You guys are like 16, 15 doing these business moves.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, there's so much to unpack in this one little story.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I just went to my high school reunion probably, I don't know, a month ago.
Yeah.
And there's still people who have, man, I still have your cassette.
Oh.
The mix you made for me back in 1982.
Yes, that's music. When we say music for life, I think it's so easy for us to overlook the services we need around music. You literally just explained to us 3 different ways you provide services.
Right.
You are services to the youth people having parties. I'm about to take this girl on a date. We about to turn up at the football game. You will also grow up to be this resource for businesses that are in business selling music, and you're a DJ. That's another service.
Yeah.
So this is, how old are you by the time you've done these 3 services?
Like 17. Yeah.
Derek gonna give me if I scream.
17. Yeah. And I worked full time. I worked at a grocery store. But I worked so I could buy more equipment, and then we would DJ parties, and yeah.
So you really 2 turntables and a microphone.
Yeah, from the beginning, yes.
This is the message, Carbon Sound Music for Life. You are a music class, and I am struggling to not have my brain wowed. I just love those down-home recipes to success.
No, I appreciate it.
And I like that so what was it in you that was like, go talk to these people, go do these things? What? Because, a lot of us will have the idea. A lot of young people will have the idea, but there's these doubts. And young people have like social media. And if you're not like a social media star this way, and just what I do know, even with social media and with the rise of technology, the thing that you're doing, it still works. And so how do you relay that to young people that even though we got all this stuff, you had your feet on the ground, you were talking to real people.
You still have to communicate with people. You still have to be consistent in what you want in life. And you can still dream. We don't have to just follow the norm. You get up 9 to 5, come home, cook dinner, watch TV, go to bed. That's not life.
Yeah.
That's a cool life if you want it.
If that's what you want, right?
But if you want more, you have to communicate, get out there, rub elbows, network. Network is probably the best word. You really got to just let people know who you are. And so I was in, when I got out of high school, I went to college for 2 years, and I hated school. But I knew if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have an opportunity to do anything. So I hurried up and did a 2-year program, and then jumped right into sales because I talk too much, and I love to talk. And you put me in front of a room of 100 people, I'll sell you whatever you want to buy. It's no problem. And so that's I literally took all of those techniques, poured them into sales, and then I poured that back into Urban Lights. And our thing, people are like, "Oh man, it's cheaper at Target, it's cheaper at Best Buy, da da da." But you don't get the community, you don't get the customer service that you get from me.
Oh my goodness,
and
you
then
don't.
I keep it real with you, and I tell you, stay away from that record because it sucks.
Yeah. So much to unpack. I'm gonna take a break right now because the next place I want to go is your opinion about physical music.
Okay.
I want to know about, because you're still, I want to know your insights and the people that you're talking to.
It still exists.
Yeah, so we going to hold off on that. Is there any music you would like for us to play? Anything?
No, just as long as it's hip hop.
Okay, boom. I like that. I like that. All right, so we'll be right back. We're going to listen to some hip hop, and then we're going to get back to the discussion about physical music, the legendary Urban Lights, with the owner of Urban Lights, Timothy Wilson, on The Message, Carbon Sound Music for Life. It's The Message, Carbon Sound Music for Life. In studio, I'm just going to let you know straight off the top, Timothy Wilson. If you want to know what we played, check out our playlist at carbonsound.fm. I know I'll be throwing it back and letting you know specifically, but this is important. Timothy Wilson, owner of Urban Lights, St. Paul, Minnesota music legend, business strategist by 17, marketing strategist, before we even hit 21.
Yeah, see, you're making me think about all these things. I guess I did, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's because when you're experiencing it, you're experiencing it from the inside. Because you're like, you the one. And I'm like, nah, you the one. Because I'm sitting here.
We the Spider-Man thing. You.
And so I am in awe of the Minnesota music scene. And I'm always wondering, like, when did this happen? And and what inspired them to do that beat and say this way? And to know that a lot of this stuff is like coming to life at your store.
A little bit.
Oh my goodness. Like, so one, we have the artist creating the art and the culture, and then you've created this platform, this space to sell physical music. But wait. Yeah. We are now in the digital world. No. Where young people, I'm told young people don't even believe music is free.
They do.
They do. And so I don't know that. I remember, like you said, hanging out at the record store. There was a smell of the vinyl. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
The crackle, the pop.
Oh my gosh.
When
I know
put
the
crackle,
needle. Yes, the needle on the record. Yes. Oh my goodness. This is all hip hop.
Understand this though. The younger generation is figuring that out now.
I can see it. I can see that.
And vinyl right now is the top selling media music right now.
From what I'm told, and in my time in radio, it's been that way a while.
At least the last 3 years.
It's even longer.
It's out doing streaming.
It does, yeah. So that, you know what? I'm glad you said that. I think I do forget that, because I was shocked when I first got into radio. They were like, no, vinyl is. And I noticed too. You'll notice successful hip hop albums. They'll turn it into vinyl.
Well, because this is what happens. So artists want. Like a Snoop Dogg wants you to press Doggy Style on vinyl because he gets paid at older rates. The streaming money is no money.
Yes, sir.
It's 3 cents of a penny. You have to stream 1 million times to make $4,000, which seems like a waste of time and energy.
Yes, sir.
When I could put it out on vinyl, I might not sell as much, but
you got the dollar for dollar, baby.
Albums are, $20-$30 now.
Yeah.
If I'm an artist and I'm just peeling off $5, if I'm peeling off $2, $3, $4, that's way more than the streaming money.
4 cents.
So that's where artists are now.
I'm gonna say it. Derek just walked in.
Hey, what's up, bro? Good
Derek,
to see you.
Derek, I've been trying my hardest. Derek be like, Sanni, you gotta chill out on the stream. But then John be bringing in these superstars from the Minnesota Music City. Y'all be telling me to stay calm.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like? Do you think physical music is still valuable?
For sure, definitely. Because
why? What about your expertise? How?
But people want to touch.
Because you're telling us why it's valuable to the artist, to the person that's selling this product. Why is it valuable to us? I mean, I'm a fan, girl. I want something.
Because you, as the consumer, right? You want to physically touch something.
Yes.
And you want to know who produced this song that you like so much.
Yeah.
Maybe who played the drums on it, who played the bass on it. Music now is cookie cutter. Mm-hmm. It's refrigerated, it's quick, we put it out, and we get it out, and then nobody cares in a month.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But when I go in and purchase and I spend $30 and I open this record, now I have a connection with the artwork. I have a connection with if I did a different colorway.
Yeah.
Like take a Taylor Swift. She drops all her albums in pink, purple, lavender, green, blue. And her fans go buy every one.
Because I'm going to buy every one.
So, it's something to be said for having something that you can go back and reference to one.
Yeah.
Some people frame up the covers. Some people have their 30, 40 records at home that they listen to. And they have people over playing cards, whatever. It's a thing.
Yeah.
But it's a physical connection. There's no connection to digital music at all. It just comes and goes.
I love that you said that because I think when you're consuming it, you don't realize it. Because I was fortunate enough to be in the 80s and the 90s. And I remember there was a music space. I'm not from here, so I was homeless then, and there was a music store downtown St. Paul that I used to go to. I remember thinking, I like this song. I want to go get this song. Right. I go out, I go take a bus, I go into the store. I hear it's a whole experience, that whole thing. Yes. And like you said, reading it, looking at the back of the book. Mm-hmm. Who did this? Who sang that note when they did that? Yeah. You are very right. And when it's streaming, I don't do any of that. You're very right.
You just hit the next one and the next one. I'll ride with my daughter in a car and she'll change the song 10 times in less than 2-3 minutes. And I'm like, you didn't even let it get to the hook.
Right.
People only care about the hook of the record. You never let it get to the hook.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm right now processing how, because in radio, when the internet came, oh boy, you radio hosts, you're gonna have to be, they're not gonna need you. And even now, and I talk about it, like Spotify has their own radio personality and it's an AI person, and I'd be like, baby, I'm going head up every morning, okay? Yeah. But you're right, it's that human connection.
It is.
So the physical music, it provides that human connection, and virtual will never, to me, sounds like it'll never be able to compete with that. Unless somebody can put something physical. How can I get something physical for something virtual?
I mean, think about it. People have an attachment to the Vikings.
Yeah.
They have an attachment to the Timberwolves based on your jerseys, your hats, the things that you purchase when you leave the game to go home and put on and walk down the street, go to work, whatever you're doing, jogging, laughing, hanging out. You've now made an attachment. So it's the same thing with music to me. Right. If you actually walk into a store and buy Michael Jackson Thriller, now you have a physical attachment to that record.
Wow. I guess I've just always been consuming it and never really analyzing it, being here and... Wow.
I have a lot of time on my hands, so I can analyze.
No, I know, but you're around. But you're immersed in. I love this gig because I get to do the things that I'm doing by myself, and I looked in the packets behind the books, and I would stare at a cover art for hours, or the cover of a record, and be like, well, why'd they put this a Sugar Hill Gangs? I would just be like, why did they choose to that artwork and everything? Like you said, it is the artist.
And then you think about how many people are involved. So now you have a photographer involved, you have an art director involved, you have an A&R rep involved, you have the artist involved.
Yes.
There's a lot of moving pieces that go to putting a product together where you would walk to the store and go, what is that?
Right.
And then actually pick it up in your hand now and look at it and flip through it and go, I need this.
So what do you tell artists who are creating music? How do you convey to them the importance of everything you just said so that they are providing their listener that experience?
I mean, I just tell people you have to, unfortunately, be super consistent right now.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that you can't take any days off. If you're trying to be an artist, you can't be like, hey, I put out this new record today, and then we don't hear anything else from you. We don't see no posts. Right. We don't see no movement. We don't hear you at a show.
You're tearing me up right now because that's me. But go ahead. That's me. I'm like, dang.
But you know what though? No, you know what though? That's like 99. I heard Ebro say the other day, over 200,000 records come out a week on Spotify.
Yeah.
But only 5% of them make it.
Yeah.
And that's because people are just to the point now where hey, I got a record out. And then that's it.
Yeah.
So where's the follow-up? How do you connect with your fans? How do you build a fan base? Because that's the only way to sell music is to build a fan base. Whether it's organically is the best way to do it. People, you can go steal some spins and some streams and pay the money and get, bump
that
your
always
numbers
seems
up.
like that backfires later on.
It
though.
does.
Yeah.
Because then people figure out what it really was when it comes to crunch time on you. So especially if you really pop off, and they'll say, well, remember when you got them 30, 40,000 spins over here? Oh, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. It's not adding up. It doesn't make sense. But you have to just be consistent, and you have to constantly engage yourself with your fans. You got to just spend time with them, and it takes a lot of time. It's like another job. I often tell people that, like, moving around in New York and in LA and stuff like that, artistry is different because some people can dedicate and be like, I don't do nothing else with my life but this, and dedicate 100% of their time and effort to it.
Yeah, but the way these bills is today.
That's what I always feel like people in the Midwest, especially, we play from a behind position because we have to do other things. We have to go to work, and then hopefully you have enough energy when you get off work to push the music. So if indeed you could spend 100% of your day just working on the dream, where would it be?
Right. I mean, and I kick myself because I know that's what I had to do to get in the radio. I couldn't take no days off.
Right? No. There's no days off.
If there was nothing to do, I had to research somebody that was successful in radio.
Definitely.
If it wasn't that, I was trying to think of something. So I know it's the same thing, but still. But here's my question. What's the most epic thing you've seen musically? And let me narrow it down. In your time being the owner of Urban Lights, what's the most epic musical thing you've seen at Urban Lights and in Minnesota, on the Minnesota music scene? Those two levels.
Wow.
Because I know you done seen some things.
At Urban Lights, probably, to be honest with you, and it wasn't a big deal that day.
Okay.
But so I knew Wyclef through another situation.
Okay.
And he walks in the door with 4 young ladies.
Okay.
And he says, hey, we're in town promoting this new record. This is Destiny's Child.
Oh, my God.
So when the original, Latavia and Latoya was in the group.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And he's like, I just finished doing a couple records with him. I told him, this is a spot or whatever. Hey, nice to meet you.
Here?
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. Y'all be having magical. Oh my goodness. I remember that. I was here when they came out. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I remember them on the. So they just walked in casually into Urban freaking Lights.
And they probably were here because, again, so music at that time, right? 80, 90, 95% of the music in the United States all came from Minnesota.
Yeah. So how did you get that stat? Like, I'm gonna be real with you. If you really are locked into music, you can hear that, especially in the 80s. You can hear that. But
even past that, we have all the corporate offices are here. We have Musicland corporate offices here, Target corporate offices here, Best Buy corporate offices here, Sam Goody, Musicland.
Gotcha.
Everybody's office was officed out of Minnesota. Navarre, Paul Star Distributors, which was Priority Records. They all were here. They all had offices in St. Louis Park, Eden Prairie, all that. And then on top of that, every record label had a full office. Universal, Warner Brothers, Sony. You could walk into the Sony office with the Sony on the wall and talk to the secretariat and go see whoever you had to see back in the offices and stuff like that. And then so artists had to come here and literally pitch records. I've been in meetings where it's all record stores in the room, and someone like a 50 Cent is up at a right board going, so my album comes out Friday. I need you to Massacre, Best Buy. I need y'all to bring in 100,000, 200,000 units, and this is my single. We shooting a video to this, and this, and so they really had to sell the records.
Wow, everything you're saying. So, like, are you tapped into, like, why is so much music? What is it about here? Why did they set their offices up here?
Well,
what is it about here?
I think it's just Minnesota is one of the biggest corporate. There's so many corporate headquarters in Minnesota.
I know, but what's that got to do with music, though? Because yes, you could say, yes, we got corporate, but the vibes y'all pumping out, okay, I'm not seeing how them two is connected.
I think most of that was business. What you got was a byproduct of that is that this Minneapolis sound during the 80s probably helped everybody who, all the corporate people got helped because, Prince came out.
Yeah.
And then Prince birthed 10 other groups.
Right,
and
40
that
other groups.
birthed 10 other groups. Right. And so now, we have, we're looking at 80 to, I'm going to say, 87, 88, maybe somewhere in there where Minneapolis was like, this was it. You came here to get your record produced. It didn't matter if you was Madonna, Sheena Easton,
and when you
Paula
go back,
Abdul.
and
they
when
all
I go
came
back
here.
and look at the artists, they all came here to record. They'll tell you, oh, they recorded here, and I'm like trying to figure out this thing that is the Minneapolis music scene. And I'm
Jam
like,
and Lewis, they was running. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, New Edition. They all were running in and out of there.
So is it that the art, is it the corporate or is it the vibe?
I think it started as corporate, then it turned into a vibe, because while the corporate situation is going on, you have young Jimmy Jam, young Terry Lewis, young Prince on the north side, you got young Dr. Fink, young, everybody's getting their thing together.
Hustling.
Yeah. And then it all came together.
Man,
because we had a lot of bands.
Yes.
I mean, the bands, the different venues they would play around the city was crazy. Yeah. And so, Morris would play drums for a band.
Yeah.
Prince lead sing over here. This cat lead sing over here.
They was hustling.
They finally all got together and did what they did. Yeah. And honestly, I look at the most important music in the world is the music that changes things. Yes. And so, LA gangster rap, Ice Cube and NWA, they changed rap. Yeah. Whereas Run DMCs of the world changed rap for that time stamp.
And era, yeah.
And so Prince changed everything for that time stamp. He made a specific sound that the world could not get enough of. And so again, everybody was coming here. Every label was signing people from Minnesota. And then once they get them signed and they, this person would leave Prince's group, this person would leave, Jimmy and Terry leave, they go start their own thing. Jesse Johnson starts his own thing. Jelly Bean starts his own thing. You know
what's funny? I'm listening to you and I hear young people, like we just had Philos 3 times in here. We've had Taylor Brienne in here. I'm trying to get SJ in here. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But they all, dope. I love SJ. She's oh my goodness. Dope. I love her so much.
She's on something different.
I know she is. That's why I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I told her that. She did an open mic. I told her that. There's something different about
She's
you.
Something special, man. Yep. But I like how you're talking about how Prince and them were all these different artists and they were all hustling. I hear the same thing with young people now, though. And it's just, is that the spirit of Minneapolis? Is that because the infrastructure is there?
I think it's because the infrastructure is there. But I also believe that we have to get behind somebody.
What do you mean when you say that?
The city got behind Prince.
Okay.
Out of here.
Gotcha.
And then anything he would do, we got to hear it. We got to know about it. Tell me more.
Okay, got you.
So at some point, we have to get behind somebody we think is super talented. The city got behind Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
They got, there's just certain people who have it, and that's across the board because your talent musically might be worth 5%. Mm-hmm. The other 95% is who you know, what the vibe is,
gotcha.
The it factor. Yeah. Those things that, that's the reason why American Idol is so successful because it plays on I'm not just looking for the best singer.
Right.
I'm looking for a star.
Stage presence.
I'm looking for a person who got it all.
Yeah, yeah.
And so at some point, we have to be like, let's get behind this person and show our support. And, honestly, as Minnesota goes, back in the day, it was like that. Yeah. It's not like that now.
Okay, because I be screaming up here on the first Thursday every month, like, y'all got to get behind this one and that one. Yeah. That's the spirit of when I do. I'm like, I'm screaming like, hey, that's something special. This is the one. And they get me excited. Like, these are artists that I get excited about in my personal time. So I do like this. I feel like I came from that era where a whole city does, I agree with you, get behind the artist. I agree with you,
Because, look at New York.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it becomes a thing. It goes through all the boroughs and all of a sudden now it's ready to get out of New York and go, take on the world.
Yeah.
Same with LA.
Yeah.
Same with Chicago to a great extent,
and maybe that's because I'm being from out of town. I feel like I found this, even though it's the Minneapolis sound. Sure. Like somebody else found this. I don't want to Christopher Columbus this.
No,
this
but
is already here, baby. But it's just so exciting, and I want people to get more excited about it. This is a gem.
People don't know the history.
And I'm wondering if that's what it is.
And it's a lot of it. You
for,
really need to know the history. So the cool thing about Urban Lights, right, is that even when we were doing open mics, and the open mics were very, very well attended.
Yes.
And sometimes we'd have 40 people performing in one night.
Yes, I know this.
But it was the history. And so I got to talk to so many young people, like, tell me more about this.
Yeah.
And they point to a poster on the wall, and I say, well, man, back in, 2003, this happened, that happened. You have to be a student of the game in order to succeed. A Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, they were students of basketball. They could run off to you stats from players gone by, why this rule is in force, why this happens, why this goes.
Right.
If I go left, you're going to go right. I already know that in my mind because I've studied so much tape.
Right.
And I know these things. So to me as an artist, I would spend my time figuring out if you like XYZ, well, how did XYZ get to be XYZ?
Yeah.
I need to know everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that because I hear young people say it ain't that deep. Okay, let me say this.
That's their whole attitude.
But I know, but it's not. But here's the beautiful thing: not all young people are like that.
Right.
Some young people, they found their thing and they're deep in the thing. And so for young people who may not understand why those young people are like that, when you do, like you said, I'm in here getting the details, baby, because I need to know. Because I am such a fan of the scene, and I'm like, well, why did that go like this?
Yep.
And so I really love the interviews because number one, it helps the local artists. Number two, it's hyping y'all up. You are Minnesota history. Right. And I need young people to go visit Urban Lights.
Please do, yes.
You're sitting up here with a treasure. I heard about Urban Lights when I was a young person, a teenager here in the Twin Cities, and it was always just this legendary thing. It is all of you guys. I know about you just from my own research, and so to be in the studio with you,
right?
Yes,
and you spent some time.
Yes,
and so people need to get out, move around, rub elbows with some people, ask questions. I tell people that I'm there for a reason.
Yes, so please make use of it.
And
Please.
People's like, oh, why is it called Urban Lights?
Why is it called Urban Lights?
I'm a light in the middle of the hood. I tell you whatever you want to know. I'm a hope that I'm there to put you on the right path, if I can.
Sheesh. Okay, Derek's going to get me for that. I'm so sorry. Wow. Young people, hustlers, young Twin Cities. Shoot, middle-aged Twin Cities. It ain't too late, baby.
No, music got no numbers on it. Music ain't got no number on it.
If y'all don't take nothing away from these interviews, just please understand the resources that you have. If you're not into music, just resources to the history of the land, the epicness of the land that you are standing on. Especially, I feel like music to me is like it's like pouring tea on life.
Okay.
Like it's pouring me the tea.
Yeah,
and the fact that you just came in here with all this tea.
We didn't even scrape the surface. This is like the I don't even know what part of the tea this is.
We just boiling the water.
We didn't even get the honey
We
in
just
there.
boiling the water right now. I know this interview is only supposed to be 30 minutes. Forget that.
I can come back anytime.
No, I want you to stay here. I want to get a cot for you. I want you to tell me bedtime stories about the Minneapolis music
scene. Let's go. I'll move in.
Nah, we gotta. Hey, can we do something? Hey, ask the boss. Can we have you as a commentator on here? Like you have so much history, and I know I have a show to do, and I'm being really selfish and taking away from my show.
And you're really good at what you do.
I thank you. I really appreciate that. Is there any other information, any other stories, anything that sticks out that you could tell us? Anything? Because I just know man.
There's too many. We be here too long, and they.
Can we please get you back?
Be like the Grammys, they start playing music and
it's not enough.
Why you gotta walk off?
He just casually told us Wyclef walked in with a budding Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Dude, I know you got more stories. Anything, hit us off with something on the way out the door.
So a fun one was, and again, people used to promote records. They don't anymore.
Yes.
So Def Jam had this promotion for the Redman album with this mascot. They made a mascot with a a head on with a skull cap pulled over his eyes, and that was the mascot. So, cat from Def Jam called me and said, "Tim, hey, I'm gonna bring the mascot."
Somebody from Def Jam just casually called Timothy Wilson. Don't move past that, okay? Well, go ahead.
So he said, "I'm gonna bring. We're doing some promotion today. I'm gonna bring the mascot for the Redman album through the store.
Yeah.
You know, you gonna have any people around?" I said, "Yeah, should be some people around or whatever." So, you know, he comes, he's all in the whole mascot, like Crunch, you know, he's in the whole gear, and this is record label people, and they're showing him the store and taking pictures with some of the kids and things like that. And the mascot was just real, like, just running around the store, and just, it's crazy, like out of control. Yeah. And he kept going in and out of the front door and standing in the middle of the street and trying to wave the buses down. And so, you know, the bus stop is kind of right in front of Urban Lights.
Yeah, I know that bus stop.
So the guy went and got on the bus.
The
mascot went and got on the bus, and he's high-fiving the people on the bus, and he gets off the bus and he takes the hat off. It's Redman. Yeah.
Hey, we need a podcast.
Yeah, it's Redman.
Urban Lights needs a podcast.
What's up?
I am not joking. You know what? No, just come here.
Okay.
And just link up with Carbon
just come and give you all the stories.
Please. That's so dope.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. But people used to promote, like they used to really, really care about getting out in the streets and promoting their records. And
but listen to what that says that you said. What did you say records called? What label? Def Jam. Redman pulling up, getting on the MTC. Yeah. Just, you know, just like this. And they're doing it here, right on Minnesota music soil. Just, you got to come back. Please come back.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Oh, my goodness. Timothy Wilson, we're going to have him back in. Hey, you know what's so lucky? Y'all don't got to wait for Carbon Sound. Y'all can roll right up on Urban Lights. And he got a light for you. The light going to be on.
It's on all the time.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming in here, Timothy
Wilson.
Wilson.
I appreciate you having me. Anytime. Put the bat signal out. I'm here.
Absolutely. We got to find a Carbon Sound.
Carbon Sound. Just put it in the air. I'll be like, all right.
All right. Unfortunately, I got to end the interview, y'all, and get back to the show. I enjoyed you so much today,
I appreciate
Timothy.
it. No, I enjoyed you.
Okay, whatever music class we got left over, I got y'all. Let me deprocess and everything and go fan out some more, and then I'll be back on the message. Carbon Sound, music for life. Don't go no place.